We are noticing a trend here, and it's actually worrying, and we can't continue to ignore it. Yes, we've been saying this for years. Stick with your own people. Stick with your own people. Are our men perfect? No. We all have hangups and stuff that we need to work on, yes. But this trend, this has been going on for years.
The only thing that's going to change my mind is camera surveillance. This is a very, very high-end villa hotel. There's got to be cameras around.
Joe McCann's plan to get away with unaliving Ashlee Jenae just backfired big time after local whistleblowers exposed what really happened in Zanzibar. And the details will have you wondering why he is even still a free man. People have been side-eyeing Joe for the fact that he got lawyered up as soon as Ashlee's death was announced, and he has also been eerily quiet about the whole thing. But it turns out that from that location to the time of her passing, Joe might have had a hand in it the entire time. We're gonna get into it.
Stand none of the romantic choices. But if that's your homegirl and you love her and they vouch for that person, Ashlee and homeboy was at my birthday dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were at my birthday dinner. And I invited Ashlee the last 2 years to my birthday dinner. So this year I made it a point to get on the phone. Like, yo, this is the year. What's up? You gonna make it? And she was on some shit like, yeah, just gotta check with my man. And I know we gotta drop off the stepkids and we gotta pick them up from school and they on spring break and this. And I'm on the phone like, girl, for real?
Okay, so imagine going on a holiday, getting proposed to, and thinking that you're about to start the next chapter of your life, only to end up being unalived. Ashlee traveled to Zanzibar in Tanzania for what was supposed to be a tropical 31st birthday, only to never make it back home to her loved ones. The local police initially ruled it a homicide. They claimed that her fiance, Joe McCann, found her and called the authorities, who found her in a closet with a belt around her neck. She was immediately taken to the hospital and passed away the next day. What's crazy is that even though Ashlee was found like this, the police initially decided that Joe McCann was free to go, and there was nothing that indicated that he may have had a hand in her unaliving. However, fast forward to today, after the U.S. Embassy got involved, Joe's passport has been seized and he has been held for questioning because, as it turns out, more details are coming out that are not backing up what the original story was. Now, I want you to take a look at Joe's behavior really quickly, because for a man whose fiance just passed away, he is moving like nothing significant happened at all. According to insiders, staff at the hotel confirmed that Joe waited 11 hours after finding Ashlee before he contacted staff and her family about what was going on. And as if that wasn't suspicious enough, almost as soon as the police came around and started asking questions, Joe got lawyered up immediately instead of actually wanting to find out what had happened to Ashlee. And do y'all know what's even more wild? All this time, Joe hasn't said a word to acknowledge what's happening. In case you want to say that maybe he's just doing it in private and he's grieving in his own way, Ashlee's family has called him out for basically being MIA since they heard that she was dead. He hadn't called them, hadn't picked up any of their phone calls until they came to Tanzania, and her family doesn't have a clear picture of what in the world went on.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened, when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away.
And from what's been coming out, Joe's silence might be because he had a hand in what happened to Ashlee. According to the director of criminal investigations, there is a detailed timeline. Joe and Ashlee checked into Zuri Hotel, Villa number 25, with their departure scheduled for April 10th, 2026. And then there was a very intense fight. It got so bad that a guest in Villa number 26 alerted hotel staff promptly asking them to step in and separate the pair in different rooms. Joe was then moved to villa number 65, which was about an 8 to 10 minute distance from Ashlee's villa. But what we don't know is why Ashlee and Joe were fighting so much in the first place. Was it because of money? Did Ashlee find out that Joe was married? Did Joe get angry that Ashlee was seeing other men? What exactly was going on here? And from what an insider revealed, the whole trip was much darker than anything that we had ever expected. Apparently, right from the time that they got to Zanzibar, the two of them had been quarreling non-stop. When they first arrived in the villa, Ashlee didn't realize that it wasn't the first time that Joe had been to Zanzibar. In fact, he was such a frequent visitor that he was well known by different hotels and their staffs.
And he is well known by hotels, staff, and the people. So he has frequented Zanzibar. And my source said they were arguing about him cheating on her. He would leave the villa to go to other women at night.
Then he stepped out on Ashlee right in front of her and just didn't care. Joe was going out almost every night and would come back to Ashlee shouting at him. But whenever Ashlee stopped worrying about him and allowing other men to flirt with her, oh baby, Joe would get deeply offended, and that would lead to he and Ashlee having a very nasty fight. On the day that she passed away, an insider explained that Ashlee had reportedly caught Joe with yet another woman, but this time he didn't go off somewhere else to do it. Ashlee found him hooking up with either a local woman or a hotel staff person and immediately went off on him. And maybe, just maybe, Joe actually planned it out like this for Ashlee to catch him in this way as his way for getting back at her for flirting with other men. But the fight quickly escalated until both of them couldn't be in the same room and Ashlee was found dead. And there have been a lot of conflicting reports coming out. Some say that it was Joe who found her, and some say that it was one of the hotel staff. An attendant was making his rounds and stopped by Villa 25 where she was staying. Ashlee asked for a phone charger, so he handed over his own and moved on to Villas 24 and 26. Before he left, she told him to return in about 10 minutes. The attendant came back roughly 20 minutes later. He knocked, but there was no response, and all of the lights were off. So then he used his emergency key to enter the room, and that's where he found Ashlee suspended from an internal wardrobe rod using a gray bathrobe belt. The report states that she was still alive at the moment, but in critical condition. So he immediately raised the alarms, and she was rushed to the nearest hospital. After receiving initial treatment, she was transferred to another facility, but she passed away the next day. Ashlee reportedly still had her engagement ring on when she was found, and if what insiders are saying is true, local police are still holding on to CCTV cameras and footage that could potentially put Joe McCann at the scene of the crime. And if you're wondering why they would protect him in the first place, it's because Joe already had a long-standing relationship with them. Tanzania is currently on the US ban list, and because of his connections in the country and the villa's willingness to protect their reputation, he reportedly thought that he could do whatever he wanted to do and get away with it. And the funny thing is, Ashlee's story would have been swept under the rug if it didn't get everyone's attention like this.
He chose Tanzania because the country has no good relationship with the US, first of all, because they're on the ban list. So everything that's going to come out is not going to be authentic. I do not believe in the justice system of Zanzibar. Let me say that. I'm an African. I'm in Africa. You can say whatever you want about me, but I'm going to speak the truth.
And the internet is also not willing to let this case go until it is thoroughly investigated and something is done about it. She's not on trial for her past. That doesn't matter, nor does it negate the fact that she was murdered, and most likely at the hands of this man. Let's not lose the plot or the point. But what I want to know is, what do you guys think about this? Sound off in the comments and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.